Yo, listen up. DMV 365, the grind, radio. What's up next? Listen up. 365, the grind, radio. What's up next? Yo, it's about that time. Turn up your speakers. You ain't heard nothing like this since Ether. That fresh, so clean, feeling new sneakers. They get that radio respect, no Aretha. Don't touch that dial, no need for breathers. DMV, the dawn, keep feeding you heaters. IRB to the VA, sending hot connections, ponder replay. Yo, listen up. DMV 365, the grind, radio. What's up next? Listen up. 365, the grind, radio. What's up next?
How y'all doing out there, man? What it do, man? Happy 2017, man. This is our first show of 2017, man. We're so happy to be back on the air. I can tell you pretty much this is going to be off the chain, man. All right, we got a lot of interviews scheduled and that we're trying to pin down for the show, excuse me. And we're so happy to be kicking off 2017 with someone who we're very, very happy to have on the show. We're a big fan of his. ESPN's own comedian, writer, commentator, commentary, writer, analyst, host. He does so many things for ESPN and wears so many hats, man. Sideline reporting, special events, features that he does, man. ESPN Reese will be on the show very, very shortly, all right? And all I can say is if you're a fan of the show, we got to tell you, we got a lot of stuff happening on the show this year. 2017 is going to be an even bigger year. We got the stream that we're doing. So for any artists out there, urban artists in the R&B, hip hop, mixtape, rap, pop, jazz, even gospel, DC go-go, alternative music, please get us on WMIU Digital Radio. This is a year where we're going to even support mainstream, independent, indie, urban artists out there, underground artists as well as unsigned artists, even bigger. All right, we're a nonprofit radio platform, but our reach is worldwide. We're on the Spreaker.com network, always streaming live there, and we're also on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn. We're on YouTube as well, and socially you can follow us all over the place at DMV's Next Big Thing on Twitter and Instagram. You can like our Facebook fan page at 365 The Grind Radio Show. You can go to our website 365thegrindradioshow.com. We everywhere, man, and we're gonna be doing even bigger things. We got a couple of apps that's on the ISO Apple market as well as the Android market. All you have to do is browse and search for 365 The Grind Radio Show or WMIU Radio on the Google Play Store and the Apple Store market as well. All right, we're gonna get into just what's been going on. All right, this show we're gonna kind of get into sports. We're going to get into, everything dealing with my man Reese Waters. I think we're well informed with him and everything about him. And let's get into that, man. My man Reese Waters, man, he's a comedian born on October 22nd, 1980. He's a Maryland native from the DMV. His stretch as far as his knowledge and everything about sports is well versed. He's well known for being a comedian. He's a television personality, man, who started out on the Weather Channel, and then you got ESPN. He does some work for TNT Sports, performing at comedy tours, and he's one of several sportscasters and anchors on the ESPN network. He's interviewed athletes, Hall of Famers, musicians, and occasionally Mike Tyson. All right, Reese Waters contributed his comedic talents to ESPN as a correspondent, and charged with providing a humorous side of his sports-related stories across all of the ESPN platforms. He says, "I find sports fans, fanatics, to be undermined treasure of comedy gold," says Waters. "I've never been in a game or an event and not left with a great story that had nothing to do with the game. I now can present these stories for entertainment to everyone, and I've seen several of them and became a big fan of his." He joined ESPN in May of 2012. He hosted, and I think believe he still does, on ESPNU Unite. It's live. It's a midnight Eastern Time Zone show hosted by him, Danny Cannell, and Marinella, and also DJ Rob Swift. Prior to that, and joining ESPN on a full-time basis, my man Reese Waters was a New York-based sportscaster for the Weather Channel in 2014. He also was a correspondent on Turner's broadcasting network, co-hosting Versus, the Daily Line. He's been recognized as one of New York Magazine's top 10 comedians coming up, and that was prior to 2009. He annually is winning at the Carolina Comedian competition for emerging comics contest in New York Underground Comedy Festival. He's followed those honors with appearing on MTV, ABC's Good Morning America, Sirius Satellite Radio, and NPR, as well as appearances on The Late Show with David Letterman. He's a Maryland native, as I said, graduated from Columbia University with bachelor's honors in arts and economics in 2002 as well. And like I said, contribute to many different platforms on the ESPN network as an analyst, comedian, commentator, commentary. He's an anchor, co-host, several shows on there. He's a reporter, comedian first, and a writer. If I haven't said enough there, all I can say is, man, we're very fortunate to have him on the show. Myself, in general, I got a lot of questions I wanted to talk to him about since he's there at ESPN. He has insight to a lot of different views and things of that nature when it comes to sports. This is a big weekend for sports as well. You got the playoffs starting up, and I just want to kind of get his idea and some of his point of views and feedback on what's about to take place and transpire with the playoffs coming up as well. Again, you can listen to us, WMIU Radio, 365 The Grind Radio Show. You can follow us on the Spreaker.com network. We're live streaming right now. Special guest today will be ESPN's Reese Waters. Just waiting for him to call in so we can get the interview started. And you can follow us again socially on Twitter and Instagram at DMV's Next Big Thing. All you have to do on the Spreaker Network is provide your social networks, that's Facebook or Twitter or email address. And anytime the show goes on the air, you'll get a post sent to either your Facebook or your Twitter accounts, and also email sent to your email letting you know we're live streaming, or any of the features and interviews that we're doing. We're live on the air right now. All right, me myself, man, being from the DMV area, by way of New Brunswick, New Jersey. All right, can't forget the Jersey in me, man. Been in this city all my life, man. I followed all of the teams in the city. Got a lot of love for pretty much most of the teams in the city except for the Redskins. It's hard to try to. I follow them. I keep tabs on them. You know, me being a Dallas Cowboy fan since I was 7. And, they say keep your enemies close. I don't really look at them as enemies, but they is our rival. Hasn't been much of a rivalry since we've won several of the games over the past 10 or 20 years. So I don't really consider them a rival. But they are in the NFC East. We have to go through them every year. And it's always a battle. I get a lot of Redskin fans, first thing they want to say is, hey, how can you like the Cowboys and you from D.C.? Well, this is the United States that we live in, and you pretty much got your own opinions and can make choices to who you like, what you want to do, and be your own personality person. And part of those traits and things are things that you attach yourself to as you grow up. And the Cowboys and that star is one of them. Don't hate the Redskins. I'm much mature now. I understand that those things are childish and petty. I pretty much watch them and support them when they're not playing the Cowboys. But it's hard to like them because you get a lot of fans that come up to you and want to talk trash and blah, blah, blah. And all I do is talk about, how many bowls we got, how many times we've went to the playoffs, how many times we've won the NFC East. And, folks always say, Cowboy fans, they like to talk about stats. But if you're talking about anything, you're basing yourself on anything. In this country, it's always about money. So, you got to count those zeros in your account. And also how much you make a year, what you drive, and blah, 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 how you living. And when it comes to sports, it's not unfortunate, but what it is, folks are built on championships, folks are built on stats and accomplishment, and that's what it is. The Cowboys are a storied franchise, and the Redskins are, but not of the stature of the Dallas Cowboys. All right, worldwide, we're known and hated, and I embrace that myself. I love putting my jersey on and my hat because I only have to say nothing. It makes folks mad, but I just want to get Reese point of view on a lot of these different topics with a lot of the sports and stuff that's being happening across the United States this week. This is a big weekend for sports. I believe you have several games being a wild card weekend. I know for sure on the NFC side you have Detroit going to Seattle, which probably not the game that everybody gonna be watching, but folks will be watching nevertheless. I think Seattle going to win that. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for them, but it could be. The other game you have, which to me is probably one of the most anticipated games I'm watching this weekend and be keeping tabs on, and that's Green Bay at the Giants playing at Green Bay with that hot defense coming in. They've been shutting down a lot of offenses and strapping up a lot of great receivers over the several weeks and going into the playoffs. I say that defense is one of the hottest. Didn't see that early on, but took a while for them to gel, and seems like they're doing a good job at that as well. That's one of the games I'm looking forward to seeing the most is that game right there. Want to see how Aaron Rodgers going to stack up. Folks always want to call him one of the greatest that there is. And right now we're about to get into our interview with our special guest. How you doing, Reese Waters?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, we're happy to have you on the show today, man. I know you did his and hers earlier, I believe. I think I seen a tweet or whatever. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience out there, man. Then we're gonna get into a lot of different things dealing with you and everything that you're doing.
Well, man,
You still there? All right, so like we had a little trouble with that. Hey, Reese, if you can call right back. We seen that can't get any audio on this side. Okay, there you go. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Yo, you got me now?
I got you now. What's up?
Yeah, no, I was saying that, I'm here over at Espn. I do a lot of stuff with SportsCenter and Undefeated, and I do a lot of radio as well. And, my way of coming here was actually by comedy. I started doing comedy out of college, and, I was always a huge sports fan, as most of us are from the D.C. area.
Right.
Big Redskins fan, watching the Bullets lose 60 games a year.
Right.
And, with no baseball. So, that's kind of how it all started. So, I grew up, in Forestville, and, went to Capitol Heights Elementary, Walker Mill Middle, and went to D.C. to prep school and high school before I went to college in New York. So, my family's still out in PG County, so I definitely love keep my roots out there. Man, I wore a Bullets sweatshirt on his honors today, so I've definitely got a lot of love for the D.C. area that I try and get down as much as I can.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, man. We're a big fan of yours on the show, matter of fact, because a lot of us here, we watch ESPN, Mike and Mike, and, First Take, and His and Hers is one of our favorite shows, and we seen that you hold it down a lot. Coming in as a host and an analyst on the show, and we became a fan of yours there, and then a lot of different pieces that you do on a lot of different networks that we watch as far as TNT and ESPN. So we're a big fan of yours. We know the comedy, your sense of humor is incredible. Talk to the folks about the comedy side, since that's kind of what you came up as, and then talk about you making a presence and an impact now on ESPN with a lot of your different pieces and the way you come on, do your commentary and co-hosting and things like that.
Well, I just kind of fell into comedy. I always was a class clown, mostly because I wasn't a jock. I wasn't athletic. I was definitely a Steve Urkel type, which was basically what my nickname was up until I was probably 16 or 17. So I need to find some way some way of trying to get into social situations, some way of trying to talk to girls. And it was always by being funny and by having jokes. So I never really thought it was something that I could do professionally until when I was in college. I went to a open casting call that they were having. Because I was going to be behind the scenes. I was going to be like maybe like a director or a cameraman or something like that.
Okay.
I never imagined being in front of the camera. And I happened to show up. I'm almost always on CPT, but I happened to show up on time. And they were running late. And they were having casting calls for this comedy show. And I'm sitting there watching the people audition, and they were so awful that I said, yo, there's no way you could possibly be as bad as these people, even if you have nothing prepared. Like, you at least can be as good as these people are. And to this day, whenever people ask me about getting into comedy, I'm always like, yo, go to an open mic and see the kind of people that are doing comedy right now and calling themselves comedians. And a lot of your fear should go away, because you can't be worse than some of the people out there right now. So I went there and I auditioned, and I ended up making that show. And then, I kept at it. One thing led to another. I made that show, ended up doing stand-up and I've done some stuff on Comedy Central and Letterman and Craig Ferguson and BET. So things were going.
That's what's up, man. We love you on His and Hers, man. You always rep the DMV. Every time I see you on there, you either got something on representing the city or one of the sports teams, and you always talk about your background, and that's something that's very daring. If you're a fan of seeing seeing folks grow, but with the comedian aspect, and then your background and everything like that, what are one of the things that you cherish, or when you look back on where you've come, what are things that kind of stand out to you?
That's a good question. I mean, I definitely feel like I got my sense of humor from my grandmother. So one of the things that always I appreciate is when she gets a chance to watch me do what I do and kind of see how far her sense of humor went. Because for her, she's an 85-year-old woman in rural South Carolina. So for most of her life, it wasn't those kinds of opportunities that was available to us. So for her to see kind of what I'm doing and, how she can connect what she did to what I'm doing now is always real special to me. So it's always great whenever my family can watch me. And then, when I go, when I walk around, DC, I get recognized more than anywhere else. So, I flew international about a month ago, or 2 months ago, to go home for Thanksgiving. And that was the most people that ever recognized me when I fly into an airport, which always makes me feel good that, DC is a place that they have that kind of love, and I feel like I'm really representing. Because the main thing is, I want to feel like I'm really representing how people really feel there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Granted, I'm just one dude, and how I feel is just how I feel. But if people say, I had a rant going in on the Redskins after they blew the game against the Giants last week.
Right.
And I had so many people hit me up and say, that's exactly how I feel. And that's something that that means a lot to me, that I really appreciate, that I can express how, other people are feeling that don't necessarily have that platform to express that.
Hey man, that's one of the reasons why we like you so much, because anytime you're on the air, you kind of always go in on some points dealing with a lot of things in the city, and we were unfortunate to miss that. I wish we could have got some of that perspective, but give folks some of that, your feelings about that game, and then we kind of wanted to touch on your feelings about some of the games coming up, and then also how you feel about some of the teams in the area, as far as where they may be at, and where you hope for them to be in the future.
Well, I mean, my main thing about that game was just, that's embarrassing, man. And, the Giants didn't even have nothing to play for.
Right.
It's like one of those bowl games that people are in that they say doesn't mean anything. So this isn't like the national championship or the semifinals or the Rose Bowl or the Orange Bowl. This one's a minor, like the Papa John's Bowl. But they weren't trying to play for nothing. We had everything to play for, and they just don't show up. And that's what was that? My mom get offered a job outside the D.C. area, so I grew up as a fan of a team that's not cursed, and I can have something to feel good about in between when the Nationals go out early and when the Capitals go out early. Because having to sit here and watch the Redskins disappoint every year is really not what this whole area deserves. Because the whole area is full of very good sports fans, and we just have teams that don't live up to that and don't disappoint every year. And the most annoying thing is when, it's one thing if you go out with full effort, right?
Right.
If you go out there and you don't have the talent and you just lose. But when you come out flat and it looks like you don't care in a game when your season's on the line, that's why I'm like, well, why am I even supporting this team? Why am I even a fan of this team if I care and they act like they don't care? Like They play like they don't care, like they're ready to go home. And that was the thing that was the most upsetting about that for me, because obviously, the Redskins as a franchise carry a lot of weight in the D.C. area. I mean, it's the biggest team in the D.C. area, and, we do so many things for them. We build them a stadium, and we give them this break and give them that break, so they're not going to represent the area well. I mean, we'll take your behind on it.
Hey, I wish I could share your sentiment, man. The Redskins is pretty much one of the teams I'm not a representative of, even though I'm from the area. But I'm a Cowboy fan.
Are you one of these Dallas fans?
I'm a Cowboy fan, man. I'm proud. I've been that way since I was 7. But I want to share this though, because what I mean by being a Cowboy fan is I'm one of the Cowboy fans that's from the area. That I've been a Cowboys fan since I was 7. But I don't hate the Redskins like when I was coming up. I would prefer to see them prosper as long as it's not against us. But at the same time, I listen to a lot of people in the city, and their feelings are exactly what you just said there, where they just feel like they've been rooting for a team for so long. All they ask for is effort on Sunday. And like you said, to come out there and lay an egg like that against a team that had nothing on the line, I kind of want some insight from you, because is that all the players, or should more of that be put on the coach? Because I'm really not a big fan of the coach. I'm a big fan of some of the players on the team, but I'm not a big fan of the coach. So should more of that be put on the coach, who had a cavalier attitude after the loss by saying we just didn't come out there and do a good job, but we got next year to look forward to?
I mean, I think a lot should be put on the coach, but I mean, let's be real. Like, a lot of Redskins fans don't like Coach Gruden to begin with, and it goes back to his treatment of RG3 and Kirk Cousins, because if you have a black quarterback with a white quarterback behind him, and you set up the black quarterback to fail, and you make excuses for why the white quarterback failed when he wasn't playing well, and you have that degree of a double standard, obviously fans in a predominantly black city, in a predominantly black area, are going to feel some type of way about that, because that's something that we've experienced in our own lives. So, right. So Gruden is a guy who really hasn't endeared himself to most Redskins fans, period. But outside of that, I definitely think that he should take a lot of the criticism for the fact of them not showing up in big games. They didn't show up in this game. They didn't show up in a nationally televised game against the Panthers a few weeks back.
Yeah.
They didn't show up in a nationally televised game against the Packers in week 1. So, yeah, you have these opportunities where you can really take the next step as a franchise, and you continually don't do it. And not only don't do it, they look like they completely unprepared. And I think the coach definitely has to take some blame for that. And as far as you being a Dallas fan from D.C. area, I feel like Dallas needs to apologize to us, because there's so many D.C. fans in the Dallas area because they didn't want to live in Dallas, because they know D.C. is a much better place to live. So we got to sit out here and be relevant in all other aspects of life, and all Dallas got to do is play football, and half their fans live here because they didn't want to live in Dallas.
Well, we've been bad for a while, man. So I can't really. I don't talk about the Cowboys in reference to the Redskins, because we've been bad. You know, we've had some years where we've been bad, but you know, I'm not, unfortunately, because I'm very proud of the Cowboys. I've been liking them since I was 7, and I've been endeared with that star. I had a father that's a New York Giant fan who wanted me to like the Giants, but unfortunately, when you're young and you coming up, you identify with shapes and things of that nature, and that star was just something that I endeared as a young person. So, you know, that's how I became a Cowboy fan. It really don't have anything to do with states and things like that. But like I said, I root for the Skins when they not playing us. It's just like I said, it's hard to root for a team with that coach, and then the way they've treated certain players through the years. It's just, for me, it's hard to root for them, because I believe they drove out a lot of players that actually cared about the city and cared about playing for the Redskins, as opposed to bringing folks in who don't have the roots or seem like they don't really represent the city. And so that's the way I feel about Gruden as a coach, man. I think that falls back on a lot of different things sometimes that really has nothing to do with playing football and things like that. Give me your take on the Wizards, man. You know, I'm a big John Wall fan, big Wizard fan, go all the way back to the Bullets and Kevin Gravy and elementary days, man. I've been loving them ever since then, but I don't know what to say about the future of the Wizards, man. It seems like you just got one dude out there balling with no help out there, and me, you know, it's hard to watch them sometimes, man. What are your feelings about them?
Yeah, man, they're in a really rough because the worst thing to be in the NBA is to be in the middle. And right now, they're in the middle where they don't have one of those franchise-changing players. John Wall is a very good player, but him by himself, he's not, he's not a LeBron James. He's not a Kevin Durant. He's not one of these guys that will make you a 50-win team or a championship caliber team by himself. So you have to get that player, and you can get him one of two ways. You can get him by free agency, or you can get him by the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not bad enough to get a high draft pick in order to get that guy. And DC hasn't really been an area that's been able to attract free agents. I mean, we just didn't even get a meeting with Kevin Durant when he was a free agent in the offseason. So really, we're in one of those situations like Philly was in like 6-7 years ago when they decided that they were just going to tank to try and get draft picks in order to reach that championship caliber level. And I would hate to see the franchise do that, but we're really kind of stuck in a little bit of purgatory in the middle unless the team is really going to find a way to attract one of these free agents in the upcoming offseason, which they haven't really been able to do. And I can't really say I blame them. What is the draw? Like, what is the attraction? I mean, John Wall is a good player, but the team's not winning. There's not really a lot of energy around this team. It's not like people coming to play for Scott Brooks. So, I mean, I can't really blame free, but that's really the difficult situation that they find themselves in.
Okay, but do you think it's is it something that can be fixed quickly, or do you just think that because of some of the points that you just made, it probably is not a realistic fix that will happen anytime soon?
Yeah, I definitely think that it's something that will take some time. You know, I mean, if you were able to get somebody, if you're able to get a free agent, that's kind of how you do it quickly. But I don't see how. I mean, who knows? I mean, things can change quickly in the NBA because you don't need a lot of stars in order to elevate your franchise, but you do need at least one superstar. There's never been a team, other than maybe the Pistons in 2004, there's never really been a team to really break through and win without one of those absolute superstars, and we don't have that right now.
What are your feelings about KD? I know you mentioned that. I mean, I didn't think it was realistic, and I thought it was kind of unfair for folks to put all that on him to come when he's 10 years in a city that was a small market, and I think he paid his dues and things like that. So I believe sometimes, like any other work environment, that if folks show you love and the money is there and you have an opportunity to reach a goal that you didn't have for the other previous years, even though some people say, well, how could he leave a team when he could have beat the team and then he goes to play with a team? I think some people miss the mark on that, because I believe he just went to a place that they just showed him that he'd be more appreciated there, and it didn't matter about who the name was on the jersey. And I think being here, I just didn't think DC was a realistic spot anyway. So for folks to put, all that hate on him, and it's crazy to me. Folks hate him more than they hate LeBron, and he's from here, and I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't really understand that either. I mean, I don't blame him for not coming. I was one of those people that went on his and hers and say he shouldn't come, because that's like if I'm trying to invite. It's like if I live in a bad neighborhood and my boy's looking to move, and I'm like, yo, you should move into my neighborhood, and it's a bad neighborhood. Like, this has been a bad franchise. So as somebody from DC who wants to see Kevin Durant do well and be successful, I wasn't going to see that here.
Right.
I definitely would have saw it being a situation like Stephon Marbury when he went to the Knicks, where they say, "Oh, come home," and he goes there and they don't win.
Yeah.
And now the one fan base that was like his diehard fan base that he always would have had is now turned on him because he didn't bring home what he said he was going to bring home when he came to New York. Because I feel like me being from DC, I'm always going to be a fan of KD. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
and I'm actually more specific. I'm from PG County, so he's from PG County. So I'm always going to be a fan of KD regardless of what he did. I didn't take it personal that he didn't come to the Wizards because I didn't think he should have came to the Wizards.
Right.
He could do whatever. He could do whatever the best situation for him. So I like to see other people from the area succeed, because this is also a guy who, let's be people hold their home city on their back like KD does. He's always talking about.
And that's so true, man. That is so
talking
true.
about his love for PG County. So anybody, I mean, free agents come and go, but you have a guy who's out there who's raising the flag for the whole area and trying to elevate the whole area and working with kids and putting money into the community. So I don't see any reason why anybody from DC area should have any problems with KD.
Right, I feel you on that. Give me some of your perspective for the game, but before you do that, man, I want to show you how much love we have for you, man. We always do a lot of research on folks, but it's easy to do research on you because we're a big fan of yours as well. We got some trivia here, man. Give us some Broadway stars that you met while you were in college.
I mean, that'd probably be Brandon Victor Dixon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my man who he's in Hamilton now, and he's done. He did The Color Purple, and he did Motown. He was in Lion King. He's done a lot of stuff, but right now he's got his big break in Hamilton, and he's going to be in this upcoming season of Power too on Stars.
Okay.
And that's my dude, man. So yeah, we went to high school together. He's from Montgomery.
Okay.
So he's from Montgomery County. So we went to high school together in prep school in Northwest DC, and we went to college together too. So yeah, that's my best friend, man. I talk to him, a couple times a week. So it's, he's doing real well too, and he definitely supports the area as well. So yeah, that's my man.
And then producer Justin Benjamin, man, you've also got a good friendship and collaborating with him throughout your career as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's another guy who I went to college with. So we all know each other. So, Justin and Brandon know each other. So yeah, he's the dude I went to school with. He's also one of my real good friends, and he's doing it real big too. So, I got my crew, like my circle of friends. I try and keep it real, keep your real good friends as tight as possible, and those are definitely two in the inner circle for sure.
And then we definitely knew about your love as far as impressions and things like that when it comes to your grandmother. So we were very we were already known about that. And then also you used to ride around listening to Martin Lawrence comedy, right?
Yeah, man. Martin Lawrence was probably my first exposure to comedy, to stand-up comedy, and he's I didn't actually know, but Martin is from PG too.
Yeah.
He went to Eleanor Roosevelt, and I didn't even know that at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't find that out till later. But yeah, he's a guy that was kind of around the time that I was coming up, the Def Comedy Jam time, the Martin his show around that time, and he does a lot of characters of people that I would interact with and know, and so I felt like a real personal attachment to his comedy. And he's one of the people that really made me feel like he was so talented. I didn't see how I could ever do that professionally.
Okay.
So that was around the time where I was like, maybe I might do something behind the scenes, but I can't do anything in front of the camera because I can never be as talented as that guy. And that just goes to show you, what happens when you change your mindset from one that's negative to one that's positive. When I saw people were trash when I went to the audition. So yeah, if you have that positive mindset, you can really do some things.
Okay. We want you to give us some perspective on the wild card round this weekend, but after that, we just want you to talk about your interviews, because I think the interviews you do are like the bomb, man. Like you get the most out of just talking to people on the street, man, and that experience, man. It just comes off so genuine. You spoke about that a little bit when it comes to doing the pieces that you do for the different networks when you interact with fans and things like that, man. Just talk about that experience.
Well, I mean, I like doing the stuff with the fans because they really will give reaction. They're always willing to be themselves. And it kind of goes back to doing stand-up, because in stand-up, a lot of times you're talking to people, and reacting off of that. So then to be back to those days of being at the comedy clubs and put me in those, I wanted to do that. As far as the wild card are walking dead. I think the Texans and the Raiders are walking dead. I think it's just a matter of time before the Steelers play the Patriots.
Okay. So you think that?
Patriots, even in New England, but it might. Yeah, they got to stay healthy. Even because they have to play an extra game.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, I mean, that Packers-Giants game is going to be a really good game. I think people really are taking the Giants for granted because the Packers have this winning streak. And I don't want to take anything away from them, but they went out kind of meekly last year, despite the fact that they beat the Redskins, because Deshaun Jackson wouldn't run full speed towards the end zone, or we would have had a 10-0 lead. But that's beside the point.
Right.
So I mean, I do think the Giants actually. I think the Giants will win that game. I think they have the experience, and assuming Eli Manning doesn't get startled by seeing his own haircut, I think he'll be fine. I think the Giants will win that game. And then on the other side, let's see, who else is playing on the other side?
Seattle and Detroit playing.
Oh yeah, Seattle gonna beat the hell out of them. Yeah.
I'm actually picking the Giants because of the defense. I don't think the offense is gonna be able to do a lot against the Giants. I've seen them play some top flight offenses and pretty much kind of limit them to what they were able to do, including playing us as well. So. I'm picking the Giants as well. Hey, Reese, man, it's been nothing but a pleasure and joy, man, to have you on. I know I'm definitely going to check out the His and Hers recast when they show it. It'll probably be on later tonight or this evening. Give folks your social networks and then anything dealing with anything you got coming up, any events, any promotional things you got coming up, man. Go ahead and give folks them. And we appreciate you so much for taking out your time coming on the show today.
Of course, man. I love to connect with y'all down there and help out however I can. So thank you for having me on. My Twitter is at Reese Waters. That's ReeseWaters. And Facebook is the same thing. Facebook.com/Reese Waters. My Instagram is also Reese Waters. I think I just recently got it changed because somebody else had Reese Waters and ain't never tweeted. They was just sitting on it like they was squatting in a vacant house in Detroit. So we finally got them out of there. So now my Instagram is at Reese Waters too. And Snapchat is Reese H2O, although I'm trying to use Snapchat more and more. I thought that was clever to go with the H2O, but so that's what I got going on right there. And then as far as promotional stuff, I'm starting a national radio show on Saturday night from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. on ESPN network. So it's going to be on ESPN Radio, so you can find that on Sirius, or you can find that online if you want to listen to that. That's 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Saturday nights, going into Sunday mornings. Or if you can't stay up that late, or if you out partying, or you twisted, or whatever have you, you can listen to the podcast in the morning. So they'll put the podcast on the website, and then I have my own podcast too, which is called Off Center,
right?
Which I actually just recorded, so that'll be out a little bit. That'll be out probably in about an hour or two. The latest podcast that I recorded.
Okay, man. Nothing but love here, man. We pretty much on our Instagram we put together a nice video with you and everything centered around you. We post some stuff about All Centered, and then the podcast I believe that you used to do. I don't know if you still do it or not. ESPN Unite. And then we just put together a lot of different collaborations from you being on His and Hers and ESPN and some of the pieces interacting with fans and stuff like that, and put together a nice video on our Instagram. You can check out. I think we tagged you in it as well. So we appreciate you for taking out your time. Definitely gonna check out your podcast and try to be supportive of your new media outlet that you have coming out. You said that's on Saturday, so we definitely going to check that out and try to make sure we tune in as well, man. We wish you nothing but the best, man, and look forward to seeing you somewhere on ESPN and some of the other networks that you're on, man. You're a great man, asset to the company there, man, and we know they appreciate you because we're seeing more and more of you on a lot of our favorite shows, and we just want to say thank you and God bless, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate y'all having me on, and much love to you and to all the listeners in the D.C. area. And for the Dallas Cowboys, I hate you, and I wish for all the worst things in life to happen to Dallas and only Dallas.
right, Reese, man. We appreciate you, man. You take it easy. God bless, man.
All right, take care, man.
All right. All right, baby. That was Reese Waters, man. Coming through on the interview, man. We definitely fortunate to have my man on, man. Hey, Columbia University graduate. Don't take him for granted, man. All right, don't take him for granted. His comedy is unique. My man loves and represents the city. We definitely was fortunate to have my man come through on the interview tip today. It's all about him. If you miss any of the interview, great interview, man. A lot of insight from him, a lot of things he doing. He just was on His and Hers earlier today, and check out his Off Center podcast that should be out very, very shortly within the next hour or so if you're a fan of him as well. And you can follow him again on Twitter at Reese Waters and Facebook.com/Reese Waters. Just Google him, man. He everywhere doing a lot of great things. We appreciate him coming through as well. And I definitely got to give a shout out to someone who helped get this interview done, because that's what we do, man. We don't let folks come on and not acknowledge the folks that are responsible for getting these interviews done, man. You can't do them without the PR people and the staffers out there, management as well. And we definitely want to send a big shout out and salute to my man Maurice Pearson for helping us get this interview done with Reese. Him taking time out his busy schedule. He just did his podcast and came on, man. We appreciate the love, and that's what we all about, man. Reese Waters is someone we follow. We fans of his. We try to reach out to a lot of artists, and we reaching out to entertainers as well, man, and media figures, trying to get them on. And then we're gonna definitely dive into a lot of impactful content here on the show, as well as with our other podcasts that we do under the WMIU Digital Network, which we're going to start back up doing, and it should be on iTunes very shortly. And that's the Hardcore Podcast. All right, I'm trying to find a name for the show that I'll be doing. Your endearing host, DJ DMV the Don of the DMV area. I'm trying to come up with a name. I'm working on some artwork and things of that nature for the social networks, which we'll be creating for the talk show, where I'll just come on and give commentary about things that's happening, whether it's important and impactful content that matters, which we have across both of the platforms here on WMIU Radio, 365 The Ground Radio Show, Hardcore Talk Show, and as well as the show that's coming up that I'll be doing as well. And those will be carried on tune in as well as on the iTunes network as well. We appreciate a lot of love from all of y'all who continue to stick with us and support us. We got the stream that we're doing, so check that out. It should be up later today with more new music from a lot of different artists if you've never heard from, and as well as the hottest mainstream independent unsigned and underground music as well, man. You're listening to WMIU, man. We're different, all right? We're very, very different, but at the same time, we got you covered, man. What's your life like? Because we live urban music 24/7 and content that matters as well, man. Great interview, man. Hey, what a way to kick off 2017, man, with the special guest we had on today, ESPN's Reese Waters. And we're going to put up some artwork for the podcast on the Spreaker Network, which will also be on TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, as well as, all right, as well as iTunes as well. And I believe today we may stream it to YouTube as well. So make sure if you're on YouTube, browse search for 365 The Ground Radio Show or WMIU Digital Radio. All right. And there's two on there, but make sure you follow the one that says WMIU Radio with a lot of the links that connected to us as well. Again, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at DMV's Next Big Thing. And you can follow me on Twitter at DJ DMV the Don, and also on my new Instagram, which I don't really be on there that much, but I'm going to try to do some live on there, live on Instagram as well, and some Facebook live as well, so I can interact more with you out there. And the show will definitely be on our Instagram page later today. With trying to connect with y'all and find out what's going on and how y'all feeling about a lot of things. I think a lot of people get on Instagram Live, and I'm talking about the entertainers as well, and they just don't give you much, man. They just on there drinking, smoking, getting their hair cut, stupid stuff like that, instead of interacting with the fans and showing fans about their life that has more to do with, hey, let me get high and sit in front of you and you make some comments and I curse you out, but these are the same fans that are responsible for going out and supporting you and your music and whatever you're doing. And what we do here at the show is we care about our audience out there. We care about the folks that come on. We try to create an environment to have folks come on and let you hear about them, what's going on in their life, whether they're in entertainment or music or whatever, and allow you to connect with them in an even greater way. Again, special thanks again to Maurice Pearson, our special guest, ESPN's Reese Waters. And like I said, man, 2017 is off. And we're doing big things, all right? So we got the interview with Evander Holyfield coming up soon. We're working on getting Schoolboy Q on. We're working on getting a bunch of young artists that are buzzing. We're trying to get Dave East on, who we've been supporting from day one. We're a big supporter of him, trying to get him on as well. And a whole list of other entertainers and music artists we're trying to get on the show very, very soon. So if you're on, make sure you check us out, man. We're on Tuesdays and we're on Fridays. We're on a special Wednesday today just to kind of kick the season off. And then make sure you support our stream as well, all right? On the Spreaker.com network, which is 24/7. If you're an artist out there trying to get your music heard, connect with us on our social networks, and you also can send submissions to 365 The Ground Radio Show at gmail.com. Another great interview. Special thanks to ESPN's Reese Waters. Man, he's doing a lot of different things. We respect him and follow him, and make sure you check out his podcast, Off Center, all right, on the Sirius Network, as well as ESPN Radio. Take it easy. God bless. We're going to go out with this track right here, man. I'm trying to tell you, man, when it comes to music, you better go to the website supported by two folks who we support big time on the show here. That's my man Caesar with Caesar Beats. Make sure you go and check out CaesarBeats.com. Also, one of the biggest supporters is my man Dope Boy Beats. Man, he got them tracks out there, man, that the artists are signing. You hear me? You got artists out there like Rick Ross, 2 Chainz, several other prominent artists as well. You can go right on there and check out dopeboybeats.com, and you'll see a lot of artists on there who purchases beats on there, as well as my man Caesar Beats. Man, he's stepping his game up too, man. I went on there. He got some serious tracks on there. So if you're looking for beats and music, make sure you go to these 3 websites, all right? You go to dopeboybeats.com, and that's with a Z on beats. Also CaesarBeat.com. Make sure you check out that as well. And my man SyntheticNations.com. Make sure you check them folks out, man. He just did tracks on almost the entire artist Zero from Houston, Texas, down there, that area down there in the South. We love the South too as well, man. ATL, Texas, that Miami area down there, man, North Carolina, South Carolina, man, y'all doing big things, and we definitely big supporters of you here in the DMV. All right, check out the podcast that goes to iTunes, and we're on the Spreaker.com network as well, and you can check out the interview we did with Reese Waters if you missed any of it. It was a great and awesome interview. Y'all take it easy. God bless, and we're going to take you out with this track right here. When I tell you, man, it's not a game. All right, when you hear music on here, you're hearing music that you've never heard, and you're getting an experience that you've never experienced anywhere, man. 365 The Ground Radio Show, WMIU Digital Radio, man. We all about the music. We all about content that matters, man. We got you covered, all right? Stop listening to all that talk. Tune in to us, man. We're everywhere. 365 The Ground Radio Show, Hardcore Talk Radio, and WMIU Digital Radio, baby. We worldwide.
hottest in the game, DJ DMV The Don. You're getting ready to listen to the hottest sounds on 365 The Grind Radio Show and download on iTunes. It's DJ DMV The Don.
I am music.
Always giving new music first. The hottest artists first. Downloads free on iTunes, social interaction, and call-in chat. We got you covered. Join the 365 Grind Radio Show movement today.
I am music.